This is Black Sash training. That was basic training. In Black Sash training, we are taking one of the postures and looking at them in extra detail because we don't really have time to talk about everything in the context of running the set together. So I could talk about it a bunch, but you wouldn't really get a workout. Okay, playing guitar. Let's start with the basics. You saw it from the front. Here it is from the side. So I'm going to take the back, what's going to be the back foot, turn it out 60 degrees, shift the weight, set the front heel up. You probably saw from the front view that I wasn't directly in front of my heel, I wasn't out of the shoulder width, somewhere in between. Then there's the weight distribution, 90% of the weight in the back leg, 10% in the front. So at first, just sort of feel through what that would be. What does 50-50 feel like? Back off, back off, back off. And then what would too much feel like, where you don't even have that 10% feel? The idea is that this leg could feel like a kickstand, if you could picture it out on the bike or a motorcycle. Building our way up. The hips. So the hips should sit back, tucked under so the back isn't arched. And then from there, the upper body will lean forward a little bit, and you'll have that head suspended feel. So if I'm not leaning forward, I'm actually feel my balance tipping over back. And I feel strain in different parts of my leg in an uncomfortable way. Let's see. And then there's the hands. I recall learning this move, and I didn't understand the rounded, connected feeling in the arms, because from the front, they look like they're in a line. This is Tai Chi's defensive posture. So if you have that feeling of your hips being back, your hands being between you and an imagined opponent, that's correct. But if you saw it from above, there's still a rounded, connected feeling in the chest. So it's not straight out. It's still rounded, connected into the playing guitar. Okay. Main error, besides just misunderstanding the feeling in the arms, just take some adjustment to get the arms to go to the right place. Still stretch through the fingers, still that kind of flexing in the wrists. So sometimes the arms will be turned in like embracing horse. They're actually flexed out a bit. Not extremely, but flexed a bit. Almost think like if you were going to clap like that, but then you miss. One was in front of the other. Maybe the knee collapsing in, I showed you before. General guideline is you want that knee over the foot. So what's a good angle? Wish I had we need like a crane camera from above so I can show you the angle of the knee. But here, I'll try it from here. So I'm turned about 3/4. And if my knee is out, it'll kind of make a front line or a straight line to the camera. If it's in, you'll see it looking like this. And if it doesn't look painful to you yet, with some practice in Tai Chi, you will see that as painful at some point. Okay. So let's practice a little bit more together with some of those in mind. If you come up with any questions as you're going through this, send us a question, and we'll answer it next class. Okay. Let's try it facing the same way. So here's left toes out, 60 degrees, shift the weight, circle the arms, step the heel in front, and just hold. And release. You might notice it feels a little different after the set. It's true for all these postures. If you take one even from earlier in the set and you do it again, like embracing horse, after you've already done the set, it can often feel different. Let's do the other side. Turn the right toes out 60 degrees. Get centered, circle the arms. And release. So you'll hear us say, don't strain to be in these postures. It's actually less beneficial if you're straining to hold it, more beneficial if you were to come out of it and find a way to get back into it with correct alignment, relaxation, the right kind of feeling to be in it. And that's a hard one on this posture. This posture can feel very intense very quickly. And just know that if you, say you're holding and bracing horse for a while and you've got it, you're like, okay, I've built up my endurance, I'm pretty good. And then you get into playing guitar and you feel like you can't do that. It's not just you, it's normal. You're basically putting most of your weight into one thigh that you used to have balanced out between two thighs. So it will be very much more intense often. Unless you're not aligned correctly. If it seems too easy, check your alignment. And if it seems hard to hold, you're probably aligned correctly, or you've been doing it a long time. One concern that comes up from my experience in this posture is where are the hips pointed? So if I'm facing the camera and I do this, some people tend to have their hips turned out to the side, oriented with the toes that are turned out. And then it's hard to get the upper body to feel right. And then you might try to turn your hips forward, which is really more correct. Then you feel your knee come in, and you're like, wait a minute, I'm supposed to keep my knee out. That is one thing that feels like a contradiction, and working within those constraints will help you find the correct alignment for playing guitar. So, yes, basically you want the hips to face forward, and you want your knee out. And if that confines you to being in a fairly small or fairly upright posture, that's okay. Just hang out there, breathe. With experience and practice, you'll be able to make it bigger. Get the knee out more, feel relaxed in the quad, and connect through a deeper, what we say, a deeper posture or a bigger posture. Okay. Is there anything else? Minor things, if you look at the Nakung book, you want a good balance of the sitting back and the leaning forward. So the upper body and the lower body will sort of mirror each other a little bit. It's not exact, but C.K. Chu's picture from the side has a very good example of that, where his front leg and his upper body, he's in a very deep one, but his look, you can see it very clearly in his example. And other things to work through. Relax. Not just relax. No, really though. If you can do this kind of stuff, set up whatever you're working on, and then when you're actually holding it, where you can relax down through the body, you may surprise yourself with what you're able to hold and what you thought was a flexibility problem that may turn into just something where you didn't quite have the alignment yet. So get your playing guitar, do all the stuff you need to do your knee out, feel your weight, tuck your pelvis, feel the upper body connected, and then relax, breathe, hold the posture. Let your body settle into the alignment. Or you could say kind of don't get in your own way with tension. All right. So let's hold a little more playing guitar together, just a little bit on each side at this point. If you just want to try to relax it, that would probably help. So, left toes out, right heel forward. Just hold it for a few deep breaths worth. And release. Even it out. Right toes out, left heel forward. Whichever foot's forward, if you're having trouble remembering whatever foot is forward, that's the hand that's in front. Whatever leg is bent, that's the one by the elbow. And release this. Okay. All right, so we're ending about on time. So take another break if you like. I'm going to grab a quick drink and we'll come out for flute in just a minute for Master's Path. All right, good job. Keep up the work.